Welcome to the C-Suite at the Open. I'm Brooke Suman, Head of Company Services based in Calgary. Joining us today is Peter Cashin, President and CEO at Imperial Mining Group based in Montreal. Peter, welcome.
Hi, Brooke. How are you?
Really good. Thanks for being with us today. Can you start just by telling us about Imperial Mining Group?
Yeah, Imperial was rendered public in January of 2018. It was a result of me rolling in a technology metal property that I acquired when I left Quest Rare Minerals in 2015. We did an RTO with an illiquid TSX Venture Junior in Montreal that had some strong golden-based metal properties. We merged those together and we were rendered public in January.
So in addition to the precious metals, I know Imperial Mining Group also mines scandium. Can you speak to its uses and the global demand outlook?
Yeah, it's funny you mention that. A recent story just hit the newswire in regards to scandium. The scandium is an alloy agent. It's a strengthener, hardener of conventional aluminum alloys. So it has applications for lightweighting in manufacturing, be it automotive, aerospace, even the defense sector. And it also has application in solid oxide fuel cells or green energy alternative energy platforms. But I'll back up a bit. There was a recent announcement by Rio Tinto iron titanium operation in Quebec that they had developed a recovery method for scandium, because scandium is in small concentrations in their titanium operation waste streams in Sorel-Tracy, Quebec. And then they additionally said that they are now in a position that they want to commercialize that, get the scandium oxide, provided to their Rio Tinto Alcan aluminum operations in Saguenay, Quebec, in order to produce scandium aluminum alloy. So finally, we get important major company validation of the potential of the market.
That's big news, very, very relevant to you guys as well.
Yeah.
Your project, Crater Lake, that's in Quebec. Can you tell us a bit about that project and maybe the importance of creating a North American scandium supply chain?
Yeah, absolutely. The project was acquired in 2007 when I was with Quest on the basis of some significant looking geophysics. There was no geological information at the time. We staked it in 2007 through multiple programs, led to a discovery of not only scandium but rare earths in 2014. Like I said, I saw the significant potential of that property when I left with Quest and put it into Imperial. It's related to a large, what looks to be a volcanic crater collapse, and it's a big dike that goes into it's perfectly circular. And the scandium is related to iron silicate minerals, pyroxene and amphibole. So it's got a very strong magnetic signature. That's why we pulled it out in the magnetic surveys that were undertaken from 2007 right through to 20, I would say 15, 16. So, and we've done some diamond drilling. We've defined the complex itself as about 6 kilometers in diameter. We've traced the favorable horizon now for about 14 kilometers. And I would say from our diamond drill, we've got about 20%, maybe 15% of the total 14 kilometer strike length drilled. Our mineral inventory is probably around, it's not 43101 compliant, but it's about 40 million tons of scandium enriched mineralization. And we have a number of targets that are still awaiting to be drill tested and further evaluated.
Great. So in terms of the scandium supply chain then, how important is it to create a scandium supply chain in North America?
It's critically important. I know that particularly the United States are between 85 and 100% import dependent on 30 to 35 critical elements that they require both for their industry and their defense sector. And as we know that traditionally China is the big producer of scandium and of rare earths. They've used that monopoly situation for political means. In 2008, it was the Chinese, and more recently, as a result of the trade dispute that China's had with the US, kind of threatened the potential of holding off on the rare earth supply chain, or cutting it off, US off from rare earths. Scandium, it's right now it's a fairly constrained market. A lot of the material R&D was undertaken basically from the early middle of 2000s right to the current. The properties, the strength and corrosion resistance properties and thermal resistance properties are very, very well known from all of the scientific data. It's just that there's not enough material being produced even out of China and Russia. So that's been the truly constraining factor of growth of the market. And also the price point as a result of the small supply have been excessively expensive. And most manufacturers prefer to use alternative materials than to pay for the material that they do get from the Chinese. So really, the critical importance is, number one, is we'd be able to provide a reliable supply chain of an amount that would further grow the market, and then basically piggyback off of the success that Rio will realize from the distribution of their scandium aluminum to the North American or Western consumers.
Very interesting. Can you finish off by summarizing your investment thesis for us? Why should investors be looking at Imperial Mining Group right now?
Well, the intent of Imperial and the philosophy of Imperial is to develop properties, regardless of the commodity base, that have the potential to provide Imperial with near-term cash flow. And of course increase the value proposition for our investors. I make the emphasis on scandium because it's a unique opportunity, a very, very high value, but we also have significant gold and base metal properties all in Quebec that have the potential for deposit discovery and then ultimately either near-term cash flow if we develop it ourselves, or actually provide non-dilutive cash to Imperial as a result of an acquisition.
Peter, it was a pleasure hosting you on today's C-Suite at the Open. All the best to you and the Imperial team. Thank you.
Thanks, Burke. Have a good day.